That's easy. I could definitely hook them up. Okay, yeah. Hey, Bill. I guess
Yeah,
it's
and
giving me a.
seem pretty good on the sewer, the water, sewer lining.
If someone hands you a mint, take it. All right, Mr. Berkman, I guess I'll eat
Eat your words, or no, suck on it.
Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. The Board of Trustees regular meeting today, Monday, February 25th. It's 7:31. Unfortunately, President Livingston is unable to attend the meeting this evening, but I will call the roll and then ask for a motion. Trustee Arnett. Trustee Gale.
Here.
Trustee Holder.
Here.
Trustee Kotinek.
Here.
Trustee Kukler.
Here.
Trustee McCarty.
Here.
Clerk
Again,
Burns, seeing that President Livingston is not here, I would nominate our most senior trustee, Mark Kukler, to be President Pro Tem.
Second.
thank you. Trustee Holder, Trustee McCarty, Trustee Kukler, as President Pro Tem.
Do we need a voice vote or not?
Yes. Is there a voice note? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Trustee Kukler,
Thank you for
it's
that.
yours.
I would ask that we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Again, I'll be sitting in because President Livingston has a work meeting out of state. There are three announcements or three general topics to announce under the village president report. First relates to the village board schedule. Just going through for the next March and April. On Saturday, March 9th, beginning at 8 a.m., we're going to have the annual budget workshop. It will be downstairs, and it is open to the public. On Monday, March 11th, the regular village board meeting will include a proposed consideration and vote on the Mason Point project, which is the old Masonic home property. On Monday, March 25th, we'll have a regular village board meeting, but we think that that will be canceled due to a lot of spring break travel plans and the calendar for the board. On Monday, April 8th, the regular village board meeting will occur. Public hearing regarding the proposed fiscal year 2019-2020 village budget and an initial presentation by the proposed developer of the old or current Jackson Storage property, which is 112 East Burlington. Then on Monday, April 22nd, the regular village board meeting will be consideration of the proposed fiscal year 2019-2020 village budget and potential consideration for vote on the Jackson Storage project. Again, that's a condominium project that's proposed for that area. Number two of the three general categories, again, is the budget workshop. The final component of the budget development process. It's been going on for months. As previously mentioned, the budget workshop on operational expenses is scheduled for Saturday, March 9th at 8, again in the lower level. Everybody's invited, and there's a draft document will be available at Village Hall and the library, and it will be posted along with the village manager's message on the village's website by March 1st. The last general topic is voter registration and absentee early voting. The last day to accept voter registration or transfers of registration for the April 2nd, 2019 consolidated election is Tuesday, March 5th by mail and March 17th online. Residents may register to vote online at the Illinois State Board of Elections website, they will need a driver's license or a state ID. Residents may also register to vote in person with valid identification in the administration office on the first floor of the Village Hall or at one of the 6 other Cook County locations. Applications for absentee voter ballots are also available online at cookcountyclerk.com. Early voting will take place Monday, March 18th through April 1st at selected sites. Additional information regarding absentee voters' ballots and early voting sites is available at the county's website, countyclerk.com, or by calling 312-603-0906. Thank you. Clerk Burns, will you please read the items on the consent agenda and then the current business?
My pleasure. Matters on the consent agenda will be considered by a single motion and vote because they have already been fully considered by the board at a previous meeting or have been determined to be of a routine nature. Any member of the Board of Trustees may request that an item be moved from the consent agenda to current business for separate consideration. Item A, award of contract. 1, construction of Brewster Avenue Water Main Improvements Project. 2, construction engineering services agreement. Intergovernmental agreement, LaGrange and LaGrange Park emergency water system interconnections. Intergovernmental agreement, LaGrange and LaGrange Park, Brewster Avenue resurfacing project. Item B, contract 2018 sewer repair and lining program change order. Item C, agreement, executive recruitment services, fire chief. Item D, ordinance, disposal of surplus property, police department. Item E, minutes of the Village of LaGrange Board of Trustees regular meeting, Monday, February 11, 2019. Item F, consolidated voucher 190225. And there are no items under current business.
Thank you. And before I ask for the manager's report, I would ask the audience, is there anyone in the audience who has comments on any items that are on the agenda? Seeing none, is there a manager's report?
Thank you. The village has taken several actions over the past several weeks regarding ongoing concerns regarding the Sterigenics facility in Willowbrook as related to public health. On January 28th, President Livingston sent a letter to the acting administrator of the U.S. EPA urging a shutdown of the Sterigenics facility while additional information is gathered regarding the impacts of the Sterigenics operation. He also met with Congressman Lipinski and legislators to discuss the village's concern. On February 5th, the EPA posted updated ambient air testing results that reflected elevated levels of ethylene oxide in the immediate vicinity of Sterigenics in Willowbrook. On February 8th, Trustee Mark Kukler represented the village downtown with Congressman Dan Lipinski, Representative Jim Durkin, and several other municipal and legislative leaders at a press conference calling for the immediate shutdown of the Sterigenics facility. On February 9th, President Livingston voted along with numerous other communities that are members of the West Central Municipal Conference in support of Willowbrook's efforts to urge the U.S. EPA to take swift and effective action to protect the health and safety of residents in the region. On February 15th, the Illinois EPA issued a seal order to the Sterigenics facility in Willowbrook to halt the ethylene oxide emissions. The Illinois EPA and Illinois Attorney General's office reported that the issuance of the seal order was a result of recent elevated sampling results near the facility with Sterigenics' refusal to voluntarily suspend operations. The EPA continues to monitor for ethylene oxide until the end of the month, after which it will release new data from 16 additional dates of testing. That information will be factored into a risk assessment that is anticipated to be released this spring. The village will continue to monitor and actively participate in efforts by the U.S. and Illinois EPA to protect the public health and welfare. And more information regarding this topic, including links to various federal and state websites, are available on the village's website. Thank you.
Thank you. As Andre said, I did have the opportunity to attend with Congressman Lipinski and Minority Leader Durkin. I do believe strongly that their leadership and efforts were instrumental in having the stop order entered. And so on behalf of all of LaGrange, I would like to thank them again for their efforts. At this time, I would ask if there's a motion on the consent agenda.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Voice vote on that? Roll call vote,
I have
please.
some questions.
Oh, sorry about that.
A couple of questions. One, with regard to the item B, the sewer lining and repair, Ryan, we're asking in situ form to line this. I read it like 3 times and I still don't understand. Why would we line it when we normally dig up the whole street and replace the whole sewer line? Help me understand why we're going through the extra expense of lining this thing instead of digging it up, or are we doing both?
Sure. So essentially, one of the reasons that we choose sewer lining over a traditional excavation is due to cost. Roughly speaking, to line a sewer, it's about 1/5 of the cost compared to digging it up. If the sewer is past a certain stage where you can't line the sewer any longer, you would dig it up.
Certain stage of disrepair or just age?
Stage of disrepair. So for this particular project, we televised all the sewers on Ashland and Blackstone to confirm their condition so that we wouldn't have a situation where after the project was complete, we would have to come back and dig it up. As part of that televising work, we noted that there was roughly, I think it was like 1,500 feet of the 6,000 feet of sewer that needed to be lined. So we wanted to do that work prior to the roadway and water main work starting because we didn't want any of the adjacent vibrations or construction to damage the sewer as it was, or as it is now.
So there was never a plan to dig up these pipes as part of the road surfacing like we did on Kensington and whatnot. These are ones that don't need to be dug up. We can get away with just lining them, and that'll last for a really, really long time.
Right, and that's along the practice of fixing what's broken. And so by televising these sewers in advance, we found that they were in good condition, except for these particular segments that needed to be lined.
Super. And then the other question is for Chief Bluter. Recently, with regard to the disposal of surplus property, recently the court ruled that it was unreasonable to seize in a drug bust the guy's car and sell it. So I'm just curious, do we ever, most of the stuff in here is just nickel and dime kind of stuff. I mean, do we ever seize cars or do anything that might be impacted by that ruling?
We do occasionally seize vehicles, and we follow the procedure. There is an administrative judicial procedure that we follow. We go through the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. I don't think we've seized one recently, but we have in the past, yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thanks. As long as we're working through the state's attorney, that should keep us out of trouble. No other questions, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Holder. Trustee McCarty.
Thank you. Regarding the street project, sewer project, you're tearing up the whole street and resurfacing it, and then replacing the water main. Is this the only street we're going to be fixing in LaGrange this year, or is this just the only one that we're doing deeper work on?
Sure. So the roadways that are going to be resurfaced this year, and 3 of them are village-led. So we have Brewster Avenue, which we're partnering with LaGrange Park on, and then we have Blackstone and Ashland. And Blackstone is from Casa to 47th, and Ashland is from 47th to Harris. This year we will also see the resurfacing of LaGrange Road through the village, but that's an IDOT project.
And how do we determine which roads get resurfaced each year?
Sure. So one of the major tools that we use to determine prioritization of the roadways is looking at the street condition survey that's done by the village every 5 years. So that forms the basis for looking at segments that need to be resurfaced. We generally look at the roadways that are in the worst condition first.
And it's been a pretty tough winter for roads. What do we do if we got a pothole in our front porch or our front street?
Sure, there's a number of ways that you can contact us. Probably the easiest is to send an email, and you can find that on the village's website. You can also call the Public Works number, which is 708-579-2328.
Okay, good. I was looking at the numbers you came up with, or that this came in approximately 110,000 below budget. Are you comfortable with the process?
Yeah, so one of the reasons we saw more aggressive pricing on this particular segment of water main is that we are not crossing any utilities on Brewster Avenue. Because it serves as the northern corporate boundary, it's pretty much a straight shot on Brewster from LaGrange Road all the way to Spring. We are familiar with the contractor. They have completed 2 successful projects for us in the past. They did a short segment on Harris Avenue, adjacent to the 40 South Ashland project, and also replaced the water main on Ogden Avenue from roughly LaGrange Road to Locust Avenue.
And part of this is shared with LaGrange Park, right? This is how do you coordinate that, or what was the impetus for that cooperation?
Sure. So both LaGrange Park and LaGrange identified the roadway as needing to be repaired, and so over the past several years we've been discussing with them and coordinating budgets so that the timing was the same. In terms of the water main is owned solely by LaGrange and will be put within the corporate boundaries of LaGrange. There is a small piece of the water main that we will be coordinating together, which is the interconnection that'll exist at Brewster and LaGrange Road.
Speaking of the water main, residents have the option to get the water service from the main to their house replaced?
Sure. So on Brewster Avenue, it's a little bit smaller of a program because we only anticipate that there are 3 water services on the water main off of Brewster. However, though, we give residents 3 options. They can participate with the village's contractor at a cost of $5,000. And in that scenario, what they do is they pay the village $5,000, and then we pay the contractor, and they can replace their lead service line from the B box to their house. The second option is residents can hire their own contractor to replace the lead service line from the B box to the house. And the third option is that they can leave it as it is.
Great. Good. Thanks a lot. No more questions.
Thank you, Trustee McCarty. Not seeing any other questions, I'd ask for a roll call vote.
Trustee Gale.
Aye.
Trustee Kotinik.
Aye.
Trustee Kukler.
Aye.
Trustee McCarty.
Aye.
Trustee Holder.
Aye.
Since we do not have anything under the current business at this time, I would ask for the public if there's any comments regarding matters not on tonight's agenda. Seeing none. Oh, sorry about that. Now we need it for the camera, so we'll work on getting you a microphone.
There we go.
Thank you. How's that? Good?
Yep, you're on.
Just really quickly, I got one of the text message alerts that the village sends out a couple days ago, and it had a listing of all of the upcoming village board meetings with just a short summary of some of the hot items coming up and that will be voted on. And I thought that was just very proactive and really wonderful of the village to do, and I encourage more of that because I know there's a lot going on. There's a lot of development votes that are coming up, and I think it keeps people from having to dig too deep into the agenda to find out when things are going to be voted on. It keeps them coming to the right meeting and informed in general. So just thank you for that and keep it coming.
Thank you, Beth. Seeing no other public comments, I would ask, are there any trustee comments? Seeing none, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
The motion's been made by Trustee Holder and seconded by Trustee McCarty. If we can have a voice vote on that. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you, everyone. All right, Mark, thank you for your help there. You're welcome.
Marks stick together.
Exactly.
That's right. The marks
Used to be great when we had three of us.
This meeting's been so marked.
And you got everything signed by